Everybody, thank you very much for coming back tonight to the PigSty. And at the very last minute, Luke has jumped in to save us. In saying that, I could probably be wrong. Me and Bruce were talking at about 4:30 a.m. my time, so it might actually be tomorrow. And I have no contact details for him whatsoever. He hasn't got email or Twitter or anything like that. I left a comment, so I don't know. But as I said, Luke is here now, so that's all that matters. Bearded Heretic, link is in the description. Been chatting to Luke now for about a week, maybe 2 weeks or so. Like, been trying to get an interview sorted, so I do appreciate him jumping on and helping out at the last minute. So, Luke, if you want to let people know who you are, where they can find you, what the crack is, so to speak.
Yeah, I guess. So I've not been on YouTube massively long. Probably just a couple of months, and I'm just like, just finding my feet at the moment. So I've got a few videos out, a couple of so I do like videos around atheism. Some of the videos are around kind of like talks with my theist friends and discussing differences that we have, and them asking me questions and me asking them questions. And then I also am really keen to discuss the things that are not very often discussed in the atheist online space, which is stuff like around how atheists deal with bereavement, how atheists deal with their purpose and stuff like that. I feel like it's kind of usually dismissed as, oh well, of course we have purpose, but no one actually talks about how we get to that point, right? So
I've seen a few waffly conversations between atheists and theists about where's your purpose and things like that, and you know, I'll always just say my wee girl gives me purpose. You know, you bring purpose to your own life. You know, your family, the people around you, they're the people who's important to you. Like, you know, they give you purpose.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think that you know, that's like certainly lost on theists, but I think it's lost on some atheists as well, in terms of they kind of just, I don't know, seem like they just want, like, oh yeah, it's just, we already have it. But they don't explain it.
Over here, you know, it would be cultural Christians. So the way they deal, even if you had a conversation with a lot of people who are atheists, they'll still say that they're fucking, well, it would be agnostic, you know, but they still say that they're Christian because they want to fit in and all the rest of it. They just deal with death the way everybody else does. Like, you know, it's go through the rituals of going to the wake and things like that, and saying you're sorry for your loss, and everybody gets a hug, and you know, and being in Ireland, then it all finishes up after the funeral. We all go to the pub and have a lock-in and talk about the person. You know, it's
that's it. Yeah, exactly. I think, to be fair, I think in the UK it's fairly like people dealing with death is fairly secular anyway. But it's just that like the video that I just released just before this, I talk about like kind of my experience. The thing that really like pinched me when my dad passed away was people saying, oh yeah, he's in a better place and stuff like that. I just couldn't handle it. I was just like, stop.
Yeah, I tell people to fuck off. Like, yeah.
So, you know, and I think that that's the thing that's lost. The atheist community just seems really fractured about this kind of stuff, and lots of people say, oh well, we just rationalize it. Like,
now, one thing I have noticed, we'll take a wee dig here and we'll jump over to the hateful thing that is Twitter. I do notice that you would be quite, I wouldn't say staunch, and I'm not going to say Steve McRae, but you like your philosophy. You would be fond, you would be fond of your, you know, keeping things right and stuff like that. And I think was it you or was it someone else in the thread we mentioned before, like, you know, what term do you use? Are you an atheist? Are you agnostic? Are you an atheist agnostic? You know, some people would say that that's an oxymoron, so to speak. And, you know, it's using whatever term it is in that particular sense, using whatever gets the point across. But you like philosophy.
Well, to be completely fair, when I first came on to YouTube, I didn't really give a flying fuck about philosophy. But I watched a channel called Answers and Reason.
Yep.
And I've become quite close with those guys, and they give very good reasons for why we should care and why we should kind of think about those things. And I am now completely invested in it. So it wasn't Steve McRae. Although Steve McRae will probably tell you that it was. It was Answers and Reason. But they're very kind of on the same page as me, and I like a bit of an intellectual conversation.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of that. But we find sometimes it is a bit too much for me to think about the abstract kind of like thought.
It has its needs. You know,
Yeah,
philosophy
exactly.
has its needs, and depending on who you're talking to, I find philosophy is also very good if you're trying to properly convey to someone else exactly how you're feeling, to find out where your beliefs
Precisely.
are. Philosophy is very good for that. But if you're talking to someone else and they're not into it, they're just haters. They just
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think that that's the stance I take. That's the stance Answers Reason take. The reason I get in so many arguments on Twitter, which I'm sure you've seen, is more because people are using it inappropriately, and it just annoys me. It annoys me that people are like, "Oh yeah, I do philosophy," and then they get it wrong, and then you tell them they're getting it wrong, and then they're like, "No, it's right."
how would you describe yourself then?
My
Your belief system.
position.
Your
So I believe that gods don't exist, and I believe that there's not a supernatural per se. I don't believe in any afterlife or anything like that. So yeah,
you're gonna stick a label on it. Go on, stick a label on
atheist. Yeah, I'm an atheist. Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah, no messing around. Straight up atheist. No
yeah,
agnostic
yeah.
element. None of that there.
Well, well, I guess I don't know, but I think agnostic has a better use in terms of people who are not convinced either way. So for me to say agnostic atheist, I think that just kind of confuses me more than anyone.
I'm just trying to trigger Dave as best I can in the back room because when he gets back in here in a wee while, he'll be on.
Oh no, am I gonna get shouted?
Oh no, he likes picking on me because I would prefer to use the term agnostic, but he's like, you're an atheist because you live your life with no God and this, that, and the other. And then there's using the term
So,
atheist, agnostic, and then that annoys everybody, and you can't fucking win, you know?
would you say you're a functional atheist?
Yeah, as in live my life as in God doesn't exist. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you're like that's like Jordan Peterson not being a Christian, but lives as though God does exist.
Oh, well, Jordan Peterson, I've seen videos of him him admitting to being an apologist. So.
Yeah, he has recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Since he almost got killed by his daughter.
Did not know that. I don't follow drama
Oh,
or shit
God.
like that.
Oh,
No.
that's-
His
so
daughter
what
nearly
happened?
killed him.
Well, yeah, she's like a supposed dietitian, not really a dietitian or whatever, and she got him on this carnivore diet.
Oh right. She didn't
And
intentionally walk into the room with a shotgun. I
no,
thought that was
no,
fun.
no. So he started eating just meat. That's it, and then he got really sick, and then he got so sick that they ended up having to go to Russia because the type of surgery or whatever the treatment that he
hmm
wanted wasn't available in America, or they weren't willing to do it. So he ended up going to Russia for treatment. So yeah, he
Well,
also was addicted to benzos, which I don't think helped. So
back
yeah,
on you, right?
yeah. Sorry.
You mentioned that you've grown up in the UK. Yeah.
Yes.
So, as anyone who's watched the channel before, we do have a few amount of British people here and stuff like that. And we have got the point across that it's not America. We don't have that extremism that's over there. A lot of people over here would just be cultural Christians, go to church for whenever they fucking need to and stuff like that. So would that have been your experience growing up? You were, maybe went to Sunday school for a wee while and then got bored with it. No real pushing into it. Like, is it you go on ahead?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. I went to a CV primary school, Church of England primary school, for those of you who aren't from the UK, which is state church, and then went to Sunday school and stuff like that for a number of years, went to church for a number of years, but I always find Church of England's like Christianity light. It's like Christianity, but not. Like they're like
Yeah. I describe
do
my
what you
mother
want,
as a
really.
spiritual Christian because it's like Christianity. I'll take what I want from it, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't really enforced, but there was a point in my life where I was dating the daughter of a minister who went to a New Life church, which is like those kind of like what do they call them, charismatic Christian
Cults.
churches. Yes. So
Was it held in the back room of a fucking hotel or something? They got a function room of a hotel, or was it in an actual church?
No, it had its own building, but
Oh,
it was
right, right.
it was like a weird little building. I never went, luckily, but she was very convincing. But then after that relationship ended, I realized that the only reason I considered God basically at that point, but I was like,
You had your existential crisis.
yeah, exactly. But then I realized it was all just to impress her after I broke up with her, and then I was like, okay. And then I was agnostic really for a while before, and then went to uni and then became an atheist there. So,
What brought you to the internet? What was it? Was there? Did you have, as you say, you weren't big into the philosophy, and that's something I do notice about you. So not to say that that's your big point or whatever, but something that I've noticed you for is not something that brought you here, you know. So
Yeah.
what is
So
the background for coming on? Were you just bored and the wife kicked you out of the bed one day?
no, well, I think so. Partly, obviously, the lockdown and stuff. I had more free time where I couldn't go out and that. But I think the main thing was that I started writing a book, which I mentioned in the death, the one about death video that I just released. And it's basically just essentially supposed to be like a handbook for how to cope with certain things as an atheist, like death or well, other things as well that I can't remember, even though I've written it. And I was like, oh, if I need an audience for this, otherwise I'm just gonna try and release it. No one's gonna care. So then I started writing blogs and sharing those blogs on Twitter, and then I was like, you know what, I prefer talking to people than writing stuff. So I ended up making a YouTube channel and starting a YouTube channel. And I wanted to have conversations with my theist friends as well, because I felt like a lot of atheist online content is really anti-theist, like as in against.
Oh, we're going to get pedantic on the fucking definition of anti-theist now. Magnus is going to go crazy.
Against theism, like, you know,
Magnus is going to go crazy.
Yeah, so it's a lot of it is like shitting on theism, basically shitting on Christianity and stuff. And I wanted to show basically that you could have conversations with people who are religious and exist in the same space as them, and it be completely normal and cordial and stuff, which I think is a good thing about the UK. Actually, we tend to have fine relationships between like different religious groups.
Generally, we don't care. It's like you're a Christian, you go to church on a Sunday, that's grand. I'm lying on in bed because I was out last night, and then they pick on you for it, and then they walk away, and that's the end of the conversation. There's no higher thought. It's not something that we over here would be poking about, you know. Some people, I like to have these conversations in real life, and I've got quite heated at them sometimes, you know. But most people that you talk to, just it's part of their life, and they just get on with it.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, when you come to the internet, you have to up your game a hell of an awful lot. You have to know all your terms. You have to know this. You have to know that, and you have to be right. You know, you can't
to be right.
You have to be right. You can't, you know, saying that you're wrong or admitting you're wrong is not something you could definitely ever do on the internet. Like,
I think I've done it a couple of times, right? And I think I've shocked people by it. I think people have gone, "Oh, what?
Well,
someone's admitted that they're wrong."
Yeah, like I've admitted I'm wrong sometimes. I've apologized. Tonight, hopefully on the channel, we were supposed to have Blessed Bible Club Bruce, you know, and we had a Christian on a couple of weeks ago as well. Apocalypse here. And Spartan's a good friend of a good friend of the channel, you know, and he's just had twins, so he's not about as much at the minute because he's just had fucking 2 babies. He can't do this shit and deal with 2 babies. But definitely promoting. I think I watched half of one of your videos a wee while ago, actually, now that you mention it, having conversations with Christians. And definitely something we would want to promote, because I hate that echo chamber idea. I hate doing that on any particular topic. I don't like reaction videos that much. It's like, here's a crazy Christian, let's make fun of them. You know, it's better to ask that crazy Christian to come join the channel and ask them why they're crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that the other thing is that, like, all these apologetic stuff, and this is the first video that I have with my Christian friends, I asked this question, is not anywhere, it's not the reason that most people believe. They don't think about the Kalam cosmological argument or the argument from contingency. And it's interesting to have these discussions about this in a philosophical sense, but no one really believes in God because they follow Pascal's wager. That's not it. And to kind of, I think a lot of atheists are fooling themselves into thinking that that's the genuine reason why people believe, and then they go at people with like logical arguments and stuff, and it's like, that's not going to cut it, because that's not, you know, if you go out into the world and you start saying this, they'll be like, what is a Kalam? I don't understand what that is.
Yeah, they don't have a clue.
Yeah.
I had a chat with a person who was like an evangelical that would go out at like 4 a.m. to the people coming home from fucking university drunk and standing outside the church with the tea and coffee and stuff like that. Had no idea what even a fallacy was, or the Kalam, or any of these fucking arguments. And this is what this guy does at least once a week to maybe 50 to 100 people. Like,
To be fair, most atheists don't know what fallacies are either. So
Oh yeah.
they just say things, and it's like, oh, okay. I think that's another issue I have is like just people just say fallacy this, fallacy that, and it's like just have a normal conversation with people. Like
Calling out
you know,
fallacies is not a game. It's something nice to be aware of, but you don't have to
Yeah.
scream at the person. You know, I find it better in having even conversations in real life between partners and things like that. You know, if you're screaming and shouting or whatever and all, being able to notice that a fallacy, even for yourself, so you can work around it, and you know, don't point it out. You just prove the illogicness of it, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it just kind of gets to a point where it's like it's like you're looking out for them, and then you see them where they're not there. Like loads of people, like ad hominem, for instance. Loads of people are like, oh, they insulted me. It's an ad hom. It's like, no, it's not. And if you didn't have that mindset of trying to look out for fallacies, you wouldn't even see it. You'd just be like, well, you're a dick for calling me a twat, you know.
It's the same even when it comes to debates. I would rather, even a lot of debates on the channel would be named as formal discussions. You know, have an opening statement from each side and then just have a conversation for an hour. It's far more productive than rather than a debate. A debate also comes across with a sort of context of war. You against me and this and all that. You know, I'd rather have a conversation and rather talk to people. Like we were mentioning about live streaming and stuff like that and showing your live stream, and you want to go into more of that. Would that be for more interviews, or would you be open to panels? Would you be open to having a live panel where we send Jungle Jargon and Neffy and maybe Smokey Saint your direction? You know, would you be open to conversations with these people?
Yeah, I think I'd be open to conversations with pretty much anyone. Sorry, I've just seen that. I'm poisoning the world.
Yeah, I just seen that myself. Yeah.
I think I don't know how the live thing will work for me just yet because it's about timing a lot of it, and I think live shows are really good. You have to have them on like a certain time. It really helps having them at a certain time so that people know when they're coming and stuff. But I think that it's something I'm interested in, and I think that I'd have like, I'd chat to anyone really.
You hang about long enough, Untangelo will fucking turn up, you know.
I've seen I've seen him a lot recently, like literally the past 3 days.
Oh yeah,
he's been on every stream.
He's been going full hog this last week. Was even on the Javier show, for fuck's sake. Like, you know, it's like a politics right wing sort of leaning conservative show. It was.
So what's his take?
Untangelo is mad.
Yeah. Mad?
Oh yeah, he's just mad. Yeah,
okay.
He reads a script. He's mad.
Is he German?
No, Dave. Where's fucking Dave? Where's Untangelo from?
South America somewhere.
There you go, South America somewhere. Nobody can see me kicking him on enough. Sorry, Dave. Were you finished?
No, I was guessing at countries, Brazil or Chile.
He hates. I know it's not Brazil because he hates people saying it's Brazil. It's definitely not Brazil.
Oh, it's Brazil then.
Oh, it's definitely Brazil then. Right. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, Brazil. He's from somewhere down there, but.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. He wants to get attention.
Right. I see.
I think he wants to be seen.
My partner's really into a chef called Ottolenghi. And now whenever I see Otangelo's name, that's all I can think about. I'm like, wait, the chef. So
Untangelo makes you hungry.
Yeah. Because Ottolenghi is a really good, like, get a cookbook by Ottolenghi. Really good food.
Well, you see, there's an awful, I don't know what your interactions was, because a lot of them craziest Christians wouldn't be on Twitter. You know, you get the trolls. But the thing that with Twitter is you can say your mind, you don't have to show your face, you don't have to come on, you know, you've got so many characters, you can run away and hide again. There's no following it up with a YouTube video. And I find that the Christians on YouTube don't awful lot go to Twitter because they would be called out on it. You know, it's sort of like a separation. Where like me and you and Dave and all the rest, we sort of bounce between the two of them, you know? Yeah. But there is some, like, what's the maddest Christian you've met out there? Do you know any of the super big troll Christians, as I would call them?
No, I don't know them personally, but I have obviously seen Darth Dawkins around.
We refer to him here in the channel as Asshole 104.
Asshole 104.
Yeah, we won't even give him the pleasure of saying his name because he's,
okay,
he's
I'll
an
remember
asshole.
That. Yeah, I apologize.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. If we can get everybody to call him Asshole 104, that would be great. You know,
he's an interesting character. I don't think he's actually got much of an argument personally.
No.
I've seen one of my favorite YouTube videos ever was a debate between Bruggencate and
Oh, say
Matt
10
Dillon.
Bruningate. Yes.
Yeah, Side 10. Yeah, that was hilarious. Someone dissed my beard.
Oh, no, Doorknob Head actually has quite an impressive beard.
I'll tell you why. It's not as good, right? Okay, because it's been very hot here recently, and I was dying, so I cut basically all of it off, and it's just growing back. So, like, my neck was feeling horrible. So,
Doorknob Head's been around since the start. It's his fault I'm called MathPig. So, but yeah, you were saying sorry.
Sorry, yeah, I was saying about Side 10. I just think that was just the most pointless debate ever. It was just shockingly pointless.
You seen what happened, Side 10? You heard?
Yeah, I did. He got kicked out, didn't he, for something?
Sexual harassment or something.
Of course it is, yeah.
Of course. Abusing his power, you know. But that just goes to show... Right, that's a good topic to talk about. The fracturing that's happening in the atheist community at the minute. Referencing the video you talked about with Autumn, referencing Autumn's video. A lot of things I would agree with. I'll say first off, I think the SCA has an awful lot of power, so to speak, in the community, because it is seen as, it's something that a lot of people would find first. You type atheist into YouTube, you're going to find this channel, you know? So it gets the stature of being the first channel that people find. You know, and people, when they originally leave a religion, they want to scream and shout at the people who lied to them for years. So it does get power with that. But yeah, what is your opinion on all the bullshit that's going on at the minute? Like, there's so much. I could probably name at least 5 rows that's going on at the minute.
Yes, there's a lot. I think obviously, where to start? So if we start with Autumn's video, because I think that's a good starting point. I do think she's right in a lot of ways. It doesn't seem that, you know, the ACA is a non-profit organization. And I mean, she really shone a light on the fact that they don't act like a non-profit at all.
Yeah, I genuinely thought that at least their transport, now this is before COVID, but they used to have people on, you know, physically would come to the studio, like, and if that, you get a meal was, like, you get an Uber Eats, what the fuck, like?
For doing a show and being regular and stuff. And I think just it seems to me that they're just a YouTube channel that is a non-profit, makes a bunch of money. It's really hard to see where that money goes, in my opinion. Like, say it goes on like computer equipment and stuff like that, but the amount of money they make, you know, they'd have enough for a small budget movie.
Yeah, like, you know, they even do like the Bat Tour and things like that. You have to pay for the tickets for the Bat Tour as well. You know, they could probably do that for free if they're making so much goddamn money. Like.
Yeah, and I think they would be shouting about all of the, like, the activists, supposedly, but I don't see them actually doing activism stuff other than just making a show, a call-in show.
Me and Dave talked about this when the whole Talk Heathen thing was going about a wee while ago. You know, should the name change? And everybody's talking about that. And it was quite heated one night here in the channel. We were all talking, and I just interrupted. And I was like, look, at the end of the day, they're a fucking company. They will make whatever financial decision is best for them in a financial way. If they can transfer the audience to something else, and they know that they can, they will, but if they won't, which they probably can't, they have all this merchandise, they have all this stuff, they're not going to fucking change it, regardless of what anybody's opinion is. They'll make a statement, and they'll expect everybody to move the fuck on.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just, you know, I always think non-profits should act with a purpose, and I'm struggling to see the purpose, and I think that's what Autumn was getting at, was that the purpose is lost. It's been lost in them going fully online and just basically trying to make money.
Yeah, the idea of a non-profit doesn't apply to them. They are a business. They are a corporation.
Yeah, exactly. They're just a company. They're just a YouTube channel that just makes money, and that's it.
Yeah. And, you know, and referring it over again with Autumn's video to capturing Christianity, I do not like Cameron at all.
I don't know enough about him. I've seen like 2 videos, I think, of him.
I think if I check, I'm probably still banned under at least one of my accounts on his channel, because I used to just pop in and just go debate Skylar Fiction, and just spam his chat with debate Skylar Fiction, because he would call him out, and he would never actually have this conversation. You know his style of video. It's,
Yeah.
you know, he's not going to have a conversation with an atheist or anything like that. He only wants to talk to scholarly Christians that support his view. That's about all Cameron does, you know. And it's again another thing about money. He's down his non-profit, and he is definitely in it for the money.
And that was a really awkward. I mentioned it in my video about Autumn's video. That was a really awkward moment where his friend had died.
Oh God, fuck
that was
yeah.
really sad. And then he's like, "But my friend donated thousands of dollars, so please."
Yeah, like £1,500 a month he donated. Can someone please fill that gap? What the fuck?
I was just like, no, that's not that's not a tweet that you should be writing right now. Like, I get the issue. Wait a little bit, you know, because it doesn't seem very.
I don't even get the issue, to be desperately honest. Because,
to be fair, yeah.
Because you know, in all honesty, man, like, don't get me wrong, the Patreons and the members that support the channel, you know, the money goes towards supporting here. There's an awful lot of the money. I get like 60 quid in patronage, £14 lands in my account because I Patreon back out again to an awful lot of people who are smaller channels, you know, and support them in ways that they need. At the minute, Lavender Ladies needing money and that, so we send money that way, you know, so anything that comes in goes this way. And you know, there's just different ways of supporting the community in a bigger way. Money isn't fucking everything. Like, it really it would be nice to make a living off this, don't get me wrong. I'd probably make more money doing the fucking graphic design shit that I do, but this I do more for the community, more for the elevate the people around you, so to speak, you know.
Absolutely.
As SEA has lost their direction, they're basically now just a group of shows, and I haven't watched in 6-8 months. I hear Matt Dillahunty screaming at teenagers now, you know. It's
so I was actually watching that one, and I don't normally watch the ATHEIST Experience anymore, but I was watching that one live, and I saw it happen live, and I was just like, what the hell? Like, you know, one of the key things, so sorry, there's a couple of issues I have with that whole thing. So the first thing was that he told a 15-year-old to shut the fuck up, you little runt. All right, and he apologized for calling him a little runt, but didn't apologize for telling him to shut the fuck up. That's
did he know at this stage that he was 15?
Yeah, the guy said he was 15 straight away.
Right.
So their whole spiel is that, you know, kids are indoctrinated, and it's not their fault, and then they grow up, and then you know, there's a point where, you know, you start to realize that you've been indoctrinated and stuff.
I hated the word indoctrination, but
I have issues with it as well.
Yeah.
But that's their kind of mentality around it. And so my thoughts would be, you know, if you're talking to a child who you believe to have been indoctrinated, surely you should be taking a different route with that individual compared to like the adults who are supposedly knowing what they're doing and are kind of calling in and being jerks, right?
Yeah.
There's a difference there. But he treated the child exactly the same, which says to me that he doesn't actually care about indoctrinate kids. He just cares about being right.
Oh, most definitely.
But then that kind of completely removed the veil. That whole conversation removed the veil, and then he gave a half-assed apology straight away where he went, "I'm sorry, but you were really fucking irritating me." And then he apologized again at the end of the show, and then he apologized again on Twitter, and then got really angry at people who were like, saying really mild jokes,
right. Godless Scummer. I don't know if you know Jeff, also from Britain, also from over here, man. Has just made a comment that ex-cult baby has been removed from Talkies and by the SEA, and I can probably tell you that's because of her tweet about 3 days ago where she asked everybody to list off positive and negative atheists in the community.
Yeah, she did, didn't she?
She did, yep. And now she's been removed. Now, I'm not making a direct correlation. I'm obviously full of, what do you call that evidence that's not, you know what I'm talking about.
Anecdotal? I don't know.
Circumstantial. It's all circumstantial. It's all circumstantial evidence. But you question me, we get rid of you? Oh, don't like that.
That seems to be the way they're going at the moment. Yeah. Because the line technically isn't an ACO show, but it's an ACO show, right? And that's what.
Oh, the line. Oh, don't even get me started with. Not even like I've had issues with Jimmy Snow from the very beginning, man. He was one of the smaller people, and people know if it wasn't for Jimmy and me joining this Discord, there would be none of this. There would be none of the original people. And it's a story I'll not even need to tell again. But you know, he was using the LGBT community when he had 5,000 subs to promote himself and make himself better. All right, and he was doing it way back at the start, and now people have eventually started to catch on how much of a using cunt he is. But my issues with the line go so far, man. Like, it's, I do not like.
So is that Jimmy Snow show? The line.
The Jimmy Snow. The line is a Jimmy Snow production.
Right. Okay.
You know, and it's all the super chats, all the rest of it that goes in. It's, I have a genuine problem with not call-in shows. No problem with call-in shows. I think they're boring. They're entertaining. People want to watch them. That's grand to get the numbers up. But what I have an issue with is you creating a YouTube channel and being the front of it when you're never on it and you have other people creating your content.
Yeah.
That's what I have a genuine problem with. You know, it's,
Yeah, totally. You wouldn't even know it was a Jimmy Snow show, right? Just at the moment, like, just looking at it. I didn't know it was a Jimmy Snow show.
don't get me wrong. I have never, ever done a live stream on my own by myself for more than like 15 minutes. You know, there's always been someone else on me. I can talk to anybody. It's very hard for me to talk on my own. But I'm aware of that, and I give everybody credit as best I can. And anybody will tell you, I refer to this channel as a we more so than an I. You know, I've just been lucky that the people like Dave and stuff like that there who are like, I don't want any power. I'll just happy enough in the background. You know, there's no purple titties and non sequitur shit happening here. But you know, I have a problem with somebody who just uses other people for their content.
Well, and I mean, there's loads of stuff coming out about Jimmy Snow at the moment. It's kind of like I'm trying to catch up with it all, but it's really bad stuff. Like, I think I mentioned at the end of the video about Autumn, like, you know, he's a what's it called? A professional, right? Supposedly. And then he's kind of making sexual advances towards clients. That's how I see it anyway. I think this is very, like, this is just the way
Allegedly. It's allegedly. It's all allegedly.
Yeah, but there's so many, well, I guess no one's, I think people are building evidence at the moment because they don't want to come out too prematurely. And then for it to, they basically want to collect it all and then reveal it at the appropriate time, which I think is fine. But we will see.
Yeah, so it's allegedly. Well, just to make that clear, everything
is alleged.
Everything is alleged.
It is alleged. but likely.
Alleged. We're going to stick with alleged, all right? Because he has went down the legal route, so it is alleged. We do not know
has
from him.
he?
I've had my issues with him at the start. That's my personal preference, and I've said wonderful things about him before and how it all came, but.
I mean, he has come out saying, to be fair to Nerdy Rodent, he has, in his apology video, stated that he has dated a fan. So that's not alleged. He's admitted that.
Dave sends me nakeds all the time. Does that make him a groupie? No.
His apology video was weak as well. Really weak.
He's not a fan.
What?
But I'm not a fan.
Oh, you're not a fan. Oh, you just send me nudes for no reason. Okay. I love how he just adds himself back in and out again. Like, what was I going to say? Yes, all other problems. I see an awful lot of, like, there was Magnus going back and forth between Leo over the definitions of anti-theist, right?
Right, yeah. That's just, I think there's...
You have you in Revolution going fucking apeshit over the title of a book, which I thought was so funny. Like, that was the most funniest thing. I was just sitting there with my popcorn, and I don't look at threads on Twitter. I really don't, man, because it's usually bullshit. But you were, and you know, I've been friends with Rev. Rev knows me and stuff like that. I have no issue. But in this particular incident, he was wrong, and I thought it was fucking hilarious because no matter what you said to him, it was just liar. She's a fucking liar.
Exactly. I feel like I broke it down enough. Like, and he can have a problem with a book. I don't mind him having a problem with a book.
I'm using a book right here as a stand to hold this monitor at the exact same height as that, and it's called Walking in Glass by Ian Banks, and I can guarantee you that nobody walks in glass in that book.
That's a good example, right? But here to be like, that's inconsistent. That's inconsistent with the contents, and that's a lie, and they're a hypocrite. I genuinely think I think the race thing makes people uncomfortable. I think that's a good thing, but people should give the book a read before they judge the title. because I mean, it is a good book. Just to clear everything up, the book we're talking about is Why I Am No Longer Talking to White People About Race.
And she's a black person.
Yeah.
So that makes her a liar because she still talks to white people.
And it's a great book, and if anyone hasn't read it, I recommend reading it, and don't judge it by its title alone, because he literally said, "I'll judge a book by its cover," and I was like, "You don't know the saying, then, do you? You're supposed to not judge a book by its cover."
I think Rev is actually French, but I think that's a worldwide phrase. Definitely something that should be known. You know, oh, now they're having a debate because Dave can jump in and out. It's like, who owns the fuck? You know, I can do this in Dave's channel too, for fuck's sake. It's just that he's less popular than me. But no, I really feel, and like we've noticed this from an analytical sort of point of view. Me and Dave have been in the community for a long time. There's a few resurgence, and in around April, May, June, there's new people comes in, and everybody starts to eat themselves. Because, you know, you have the new people coming in. They're all these new. Thank you very much, Godless Scummer. Dave is not a groupie, but he is community property. Gets passed around. I don't know. And, you know, there's a resurgence of the same arguments that appear again. There's people on edge, especially lately now, with there is things coming to a head with legalness. You know, there's as Jimmy Snow and there was the non sequitur and all that stuff. So it was brought to a certain level with that sort of things. But I just find that people get bored. And, you know, especially the people who are around, like Steve McRae and things like that. He just is a fucking drama queen. I don't give a fuck. He can fucking sue me for £1 million. You're a fucking drama queen. Purple titties, my ass. All right. I just
see. I find Steve funny. I find him funny because he's not wrong.
He is on a lot of stuff. He's wrong.
I've disagreed with him on lots of things, but he's not wrong about like the philosophy stuff. He gets that right, but he's just.
I don't know.
He's a bit of a knob.
Well, I've seen him put forth. I've got these amount of papers, and someone else put forth twice as many papers. You know, it's.
Oh right, okay.
All right, Steve is right on whatever he wants to be on. That's grand. All the rest of it. His content is drama.
Yeah.
He's a drama channel. You know, it's a fucking drama channel, and everybody has their bits and bobs, and we come on sometimes, and right now we're bitching about the ACA, but I wouldn't consider this to be a fucking drama channel, you know? I'm blaming you for all the drama, because it's your interview.
Yeah, well, apparently... Well, this is the thing, like, I didn't expect to ever make, like, reaction videos or whatever, but I just think that if there's an organization that represents me, that I want them to, in some way, even if it's not directly, I want them to be ethical, and I just think that, you know,
I feel represented by my PigSty. Represented by the people that I surround myself with, by the community that I've built here. You know, I am who the audience are. You know, the audience that hangs around, that comes and shows. The 23 people that's watching Bearded Heretic here, you know, tonight. It's decent enough number. It's not 50 and 60. It's not 1,000 like the fucking SEA or anything like that. But I know most of the people in the chat, you know, we would consider them friends, I would consider them colleagues and stuff like that, except for Moon Planet or Europa Bumhole, whatever you want to call yourself. I won't say your name, he's an asshole. No, it's the community. That's what I represent. We are MathPig. There you are, nerdy. We are MathPig. You know, that's the SEA does not. I will not say his name. The SEA does not represent me. You know, I'm not on the Richard Dawkins scale. I'm, you know, I'm me. If you want to get to know me, come and talk to me.
That's a good philosophy to have. I think that's a good way of thinking about things. So yeah, totally. I think a part of my motivation is to try and build a better reputation for atheists, because atheists have shit reputation. Real shit reputation. So I guess that's what it upsets me, that I can see this thing that just continues to kind of perpetuate that shit reputation, and the ACA does perpetuate that shit reputation because it encourages all these people to be like arrogant and dismissive, and I don't like that. But what I found is that there's these like the most people that I've interacted with who are like atheist, who don't really talk about atheist stuff, like yourself and Dave and other people, Answers in Reason, they're not that they are good representations of atheism.
Yeah, and
And
whenever someone made that fucking list the other day, a person in the back room, Dave, made that list and put a load of cool people on it and left me out of it. And I wasn't complaining or anything like that. You know, I'm not bitching or anything, but I popped in underneath and I was like, yeah, leave me out because I'm agnostic, won't you? Yeah. You know, but as you said, these are the channels that don't get noticed for good representations of atheism. Because
it's because they're not dramatic.
They're not dramatic. They don't get the views. They don't get the, you know.
Yeah.
I've had people come to me and go, will you moderate a debate? And they've also asked modern day debate. And I've said yes. And then a couple of days later, James has come back and went, yes, I'll do it. And they've went, oh, sorry, Robbie, you've been dumped because I'm going to get more views and drama over there. And it's like, really? That's what you're after? Why are you having the debate? You know, why are you having the discussion? For clicks and views or to change people's minds? I find when the channel and when a huge audience gets to that big, if there's 1,000 people watching a debate, unless it's two really famous people with very interesting things to say, most people are going to be shit posting in the chat.
Yeah.
Because they've already heard the debate and they don't give a fuck. Smaller channels, formal discussions, you're going to interact with the audience because the chat's moving an awful lot slower. You're going to be able to look at the chat, see what people have to say, get interaction and feedback, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Winds me up.
Yeah, it does as well. It does me as well. I think Godless Scummer said Answers in Reason are underrated, and I totally agree. Not because I'm on their channel a reasonable amount, but because I think they're they are educational.
I have been subbed to them for a while and don't watch. I haven't. I will make more of an effort to. But when the titles for streams and things like that pop up, it don't just grab my attention because it's not my interest, if you understand what I mean, you know?
Yeah, they name them silly things. Joe, who's like, there's two like main ones. There's Joe and Dave, and Joe is very ADHD, hilariously ADHD. And so like when he titles things, he wants a really good pun. So it's like a silly thing. And then so yeah.
Most of the content I would watch, I am fucking loads of orange, and that we've got a that's no excuse. Right, I'm sorry, I'm just getting shouted at. Yeah, no, the titles just don't grab me, but I'd make more of an effort to pop over. I'd make more of an effort to say hello and jump in. I think it was your channel. You were saying me and Answers and Reasons should definitely chat as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you guys would have a good chat, definitely. And it doesn't. They're not exclusively talking about like philosophy stuff. They're up for conversations about anything. So, you know, even if it's just a chat about like, you know, life or whatever, they'll be up for it. And they give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't know if anyone. Oh, I don't really want to say his name because he'll find me. There was a guy who was paying Steve £50 a month, $50 a month.
Oh, I called him out online.
Sorry?
He called him out on stream.
And well, yeah, he called him out on stream. Yeah. So that guy started going on to Answers in Reason and spent a lot of time talking to him about his kind of debate method, and they gave him a lot of time and stuff. So they're up for like giving people the opportunity to discuss their stuff. They do obviously have a limit though, and I think that limit was reached with that guy as well. And for them,
in saying that, man, if you have a genuine reason, Steve and all the rest of it, whatever he is, I know I called that guy out, but I've had one of the biggest donators to the channel here, one of the most longest outstanding Patreons, and I woke up one morning, he'd sent me $100. He still was an ignorant cunt, and I kicked him from the Discord twice. And he still hangs around, and me and him get on like a house on fire now. And I would genuinely say that there's been improvement in his personality. He's not as angry anymore. He's not as much anti-theist anymore. And he's now open to conversation. You know, calling people out in their bullshit is necessary sometimes.
Yeah.
Money aside, I don't give a fuck. Take your money. Fuck off. I don't care. You're being a dick.
Well, I think that shows integrity, actually. If you're saying like, you know, you're frustrating me so much that, you know, I don't want your money. It's obviously showing integrity because you're kind of like you don't want that what they represent or however they're frustrating you to fund you. So I think that's fair enough, to be honest. A lot of people think it was unfair. initially thought it was unfair, but I've changed my opinion since having extended conversations with that individual.
Oh, Crafty wants me to put on slow mode just to annoy people.
That does get so frustrating, to be honest. It's like one every 3 minutes, and then someone replies, and you're like, you have to wait.
Yeah, I don't do paragraphs even in tweeting, or even if I'm having a message back and forth to talk to someone. I'll send a message, send it, send a message, send it. You know, it'll be 4 lines of what could be written a paragraph. But at the end of a sentence, it's like hitting enter. I go over and hit enter, go over and hit enter. It's like going over and hit send.
Yeah, that's what I do as well.
Slow-mo drives my fucking head away. Like, Geo, there you go. There's the man. My favourite Irishman just turned up. Geo, we were just talking about you. Yeah, so what we're going to do now is we're going to open it up. Dave, are you in the background there? You're going to help yourself in? I lad pee poo poo. So, yeah, we'll open it up a wee bit. It's been... now everybody knows who Dave just helps himself. There you go. So you two have definitely been here for the whole interview. Have you any questions or any comments that you would like to ask Bearded? Think about that. And while you are thinking about that, Luke, have you anything that you would like to ask me, or any question that you would like to ask me, or anything you'd like to know?
I guess just what? Okay, you've seen a few of my content. Because I
not a
like,
lot though, man. Yeah, being not a huge amount, but yes.
What would you want to see from me in the future? What do you think I can bring to the table? Because it's about me, isn't it? So let's make it about
I know, it's like, you know, let's stop talking about me. We've had enough about me. Let's talk about you. What do you think of me?
Exactly. Yeah.
Open panels, man. I think open panels is the way to go. I've seen some of the content that you put out, say maybe half an hour or so of, you know, the conversation that you had with your Christian friends. That's a real good base to go with. Get them on, get the live stream going, because you've got a guaranteed base of having Christians on the other side. So you're coming forth straight away with, even if you're friends and it's the UK, you're coming forth with, look, these are the people I hang about with. These people are open to conversation, as am I. So that'll put you forth to the wider opposite other side of the fence sort of thing, as, he's not that bad. You know, it might be worthwhile. Collaborations, something like this that we were doing, not a collab, sort of a chat. Yeah. Reach out to other channels, man. If you're doing an open panel night, bring that person on and have them as a special guest. Collabs and reaching out is the only way to grow the channel, and I think growing a better opinion, a better feedback from the human race. Like,
yeah, sounds good. Sounds really good.
Jupit, you can shoot me in a minute. They're gonna, yeah. Dave, what about your opinion? Anything you'd like to add?
No.
No, you've been playing with the dogs the whole time, haven't you? You haven't been watching.
I was talking the entire... Well, I wasn't talking the entire time. I, left temporarily. I didn't know that it was back.
So, thanks for coming in and adding absolutely no content whatsoever.
That's my middle name. Being extremely aggressive about perfect.
I'm gonna send Crafty the link. Crafty always has something important to say or tells
I
us.
guess I can add the thing about both the ACA and Jimmy.
Go for it.
They are things that require balance. The first thing is what I said in the chat, is that there is basically absolutely nothing about Jimmy that has been proven. There is. Don't get me wrong. Jimmy is a narcissistic arsehole. And he is probably guilty of some of the stuff that he's accused of. But right now, it's just people mudslinging.
Yeah,
I do. I hope people do get if he has done any of it, I hope they get the evidence together, and I hope they go after him. Right, that's fine. But right now, that's where that's at. As for the ACA, I think it's a bit slightly disingenuous. No, that's the wrong word. And it's slightly unfair to go after them for how they're spending their money when their money is a bit stuck at the moment because they're basically based around doing stuff locally. At the end of the day, they're a local organization. Their outreach on YouTube is, or always was until relatively recently, unbelievably minor part of what they did. And
was a big revenue stream for them to fund the local stuff, no?
It wasn't that big a revenue stream. I think it's a much bigger revenue stream now than it was. Mm-hmm. Right? If you want my issues with the ACA right now, I think there is a conflict of interest between Matt being the lead host and being the fucking president of the ACA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would say was my biggest concern about it.
Fabio's coming in blind.
What's up?
Fabio, we're having a small get together. We were chatting to Bearded Heretic about who he is and what he has going, and seemed like somebody you might like. He's not as evil as me and you, but has good opinions and open to conversation.
I have no fucking idea what you guys talked about. Today was my wife's 60th birthday, so we had a lot of food, a lot of wine, a lot of beer. So I have literally no fucking idea.
So no idea what's going on, and it's midnight in Italy, and we got ourselves a pissed Italian. This is great.
Completely shit-faced.
And I'm having-
Correct your mic.
Well, no, I'm not shit-faced. I mean, you've never seen me shit-faced. That's
Your
why you
mic
say
is
I'm shit-faced.
absolutely horrible. Take it out of your butt, please.
The mic's a wee bit crackly, I think, was what Dave is saying.
My mic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Little crackly.
A little, I kind of understand them.
Hold on a second, because I think I'm using the
Wrong
one on the PC. So
That's a very Italian thing.
So yeah, Fabio has been around. Fabio's been around for an awful long time. Do you have any
Yeah.
opinions on Steve McRae, Fabio?
I mean, no, it's a.
That's a
How
can
do
of
you
worms.
No, it's not a can of worms. It's that it's really funny because apparently, and I've seen this happening recently. Everybody's asking opinions about Steve and GDC to people which were not really there when he got on the stage. They were kind of there, but it was the last leg of it.
Yeah.
So they have a very skewed opinion. I mean, in my opinion, they have a very skewed opinion of what really happened. Steve appeared on the scene, and nobody really gave a fuck about it. Nobody.
We were talking
Because
about it because of the conflicts in general. Do you have any opinions on the conflicts in general that's happening in the atheist community?
Listen, I have no opinions on the conflicts right now because, I mean, they're just fun for me to watch. I don't really pay too much attention. It's just
observing chaos. Yeah.
it's just a shit
Excuse me.
fest. So
Excuse me. Wait there.
Hi,
2
Crafty.
seconds. Wait there.
Hello.
You've invited us in, and you're using us to make your content more interesting, and
No.
you don't have the decency to put us on screen.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Amateur.
Ooh.
So the real issue with Steve at the beginning, and I think that was the core of it, is the fact that so again when he stepped out on the scene, nobody really cared about him because it wasn't that interesting. And I'm referring to back then. I don't think it's still interesting now, but you see what I'm saying. The thing which started to piss people off was the fact that I think because he felt it wasn't that interesting, he still wanted to be recognized in some way, shape, or form, right? So he tried to fill a void that nobody was really interested in, namely the fact that he registered a YouTube account under GDC, and he made kind of a wiki page and stuff. And listen, at that point, it was okay. I mean, you got to remember there has never been a community. It was like herding cats.
Yeah.
No, I mean, at least that was my opinion, but it was the opinion of a lot.
Your
of
mic
people.
is still really
But-
bad, Fabio. Can you? That is crackly. And everybody's so nice. I'm just going to tell you, it's doing my fucking tits in.
I'm
Dude,
really
literally
sorry. I mean,
said to take it out of your butt. Like, just wiggle the wire.
I don't know what to do. I mean, let me try to change the mic. I don't think it's going to change
It's
too
not,
much.
It's did you recently drop your headset or your earbuds?
It's not the headset. It's the. I'm using the mic on the PC, so.
We'll
That's
just run with
why.
it. If it doesn't work, we'll run with it. It's grand. We've mentioned it twice. I'll not be that pedantic.
Actually,
Okay,
mentioned it twice, but
Is
I'll
it
go
any
off.
better, or is it the same right now?
Well, that's a wee bit better. Yeah.
It's a wee bit better. Okay, let's
No.
try this one.
Yep. Perfect.
So and just to keep it brief, what really started to piss people off was the fact that he started I wouldn't call it a scheme, but his plan at the beginning was to do what modern day debate is doing right now. So his idea was to make a channel where and he said that, oh, I'm providing a platform, like if you need one, right? And he said, yeah, I'm providing a platform where people can do things, and I make some things, some ancillary things, some things that nobody really cared about. And he registered under his name. So what he really wanted to do was to provide a platform where people could come in, do whatever the fuck they were doing at the beginning, and it will profit from them. And it doesn't matter if because I think it made, I don't know, $20 out of it, but money is not the issue. It's the attitude, and that's the reason why people start to be pissed off.
Yeah.
That's
He
kind of
declared himself.
yeah. Sorry.
Go on ahead,
That's
Darby.
kind of similar
No, it's
to the issue that you were talking about, MathPig, earlier with Jimmy Snow's the line thing, wasn't it? Like that kind of like profiting off other people's content.
Yeah.
I understand that. I get that. I didn't realize that was what he invented that channel for. So I can understand that frustration. Yeah, absolutely.
I think.
listen, the thing is that at the beginning it wasn't even frustration. It was more like, what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't frustration. Then he started to make things, to actually start bidding things, and nobody really cared about it. But I think that he filled the void in his mind by saying, oh, if nobody's saying anything about it, I'm making a good job. And he started, making some weird shit, like, I remember one time he said, oh, one should join G-Men's hangouts. If they do, I'm gonna ban them from the GDC, whatever the fuck it was at that time. And we're like, just okay, what the fuck? Really? I mean, I go whatever the fuck I want. I mean, this is how it started. Small things, and people was like, listen, man, dude, chill the fuck down. And it all exploded, I think, and then I shut the fuck up. But the tipping point, the tipping point was after he issued the fatwa on Nate, that went down, and after that, he made the wonderful and fantastic. I mean, I cannot thank him enough for that wonderful piece of hangout where he was pissed drunk and he started making the accusation of basically.
Fabio, do you have that link?
Spectre,
I was talking about that earlier. I was talking about that video earlier.
I think I can find it.
Your speaker is cutting out that much. Yeah, and just to say, man, people are commenting that they can't hear you.
I was going to say, I cannot hear a word you're saying.
You're cutting out crazy, Fabio. I'm not sure why it is, but I know Jeff wanted to say something. He's heading to bed because he's a postman to get up early.
No, not massively. I mean,
I'll give you a wee bit because Crafty popped in before you, and now I'm being ignorant to her.
Yeah,
she will fucking.
No, by all means, by all means.
She'll fucking kill me. She's from Dublin, like.
Look, I've said it many times. I've always gotten along with Steve. He's always been really cool with me. I get why he pisses people off, though.
Yeah,
totally. Totally. Because and yeah, he's gone down. I'll admit he's gone down a fucking drama route over the last year or two, without a doubt. Ever since non-deck.
Just, I know that I popped in. I said it as a joke to Fabio because I know that Steve would trigger Fabio. We were talking about general falling outs. I don't want it to become a I hate Steve stream.
No.
Pee poo poo. I'm
I
sorry.
see this. It's going to be like Bearded Heretic.
I could
hate me.
Try that now, Fabio.
I don't hate you.
Test 1, 2, 3. Is it better?
Oh, way better,
Much
man.
better.
Way better.
Okay.
Perfect.
Sorry about that.
But
So,
yeah. You're gonna go.
I was
go on ahead.
I was just saying that the tipping point was that amazing and fantastic and it was beautiful, like
he genuinely. If it's the same stream I'm thinking of, he looked like a homeless man swinging a bottle about.
it's like reading Shakespeare for the first time, right? You read the Julius Caesar for the first time, you're just blown the fuck away. That was the same attitude. He was pissed drunk, and he basically, the gist of it was that he basically blamed, I think it was the Spectre, Hydra, and I don't know, whatever the fuck,
I
everybody
think
of
Drag got the
making a
blame too.
conspiracy. Yeah, of making a conspiracy to take out his channel, and Drag was one of the minions, but the real brains beyond the whole operation was Christopher Mouty and Shanna, and I mean that
fucking love
was
Chris. I think where has Chris been? Has he been okay since his therapy?
yeah, it's
passed away?
fine, it's fine.
I haven't
Yeah,
spoken
it's
to him
fine.
in a few
He
weeks. Like,
no, he's fine. He sent an email to my wife because she turned 60 today. So yeah. I know it's-
that's why he sent it to her. Yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't count. Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean that was the pinnacle, and it all went downhill from there.
Yeah. Well, not to
Yes.
make it a pure I hate Steve stream. I just said that to trigger you because I know you and Steve had passed. We were talking about general falling apart in the community overall. Then how everybody ends up eating themselves.
I have listen. I just want to be super clear. I have no. So my feelings towards Steve are the same ones that I had towards him like 10 years ago. He sent me, so I keep in mind that I think I still have on my email somewhere because it's all there. He sent me an invitation to join the GDC group on Google Plus, and I think when he sent it to me, there were something like 4 members. So I might have been among the first 10 persons that they sent the invite, and never replied to it. So my feelings towards Steve are exactly the same that they were towards Steve 12 years ago. They haven't changed one iota. I think it was inconsequential. I think it was, not interesting 12 years ago, and it still isn't. Now it's funnier. I'll grant him that because it's bonkers.
I'm going to pass the floor to Crafty, and then I'm going to give it to Bearded because I did say to Bearded it would only last 60 minutes. So I'm going to give Crafty her 2 cents or her €2, whatever it is.
Does God the Scummer want to talk, or because he was interrupted?
I can talk. No, I mean no. Go ahead, Crafty. Say your piece.
Okay. Well, when it comes to Steve, my starting point is fuck Steve. I'm gonna be honest. His mates doxed me. His co-host shared the fucking the docs, and he went on multiple fucking platforms, basically victim blaming, gaslighting, and being a cunt. So fuck Steve. But I can't say any more legally. So that's my starting point. Fuck Steve.
Thank you.
But when
Your
it comes
general
to
opinion of people eating each other. Can we talk general?
Yeah.
I just wanted to get that out of the way.
So how do you really feel, Crafty?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm always direct. You guys know I'm always direct. But when it comes to the ACA, I'm new to that side of the community. My focus has been on the skeptics community in general, or the debunking community, which again has kind of eaten itself and imploded. And the same thing is now happening with the atheist community. What I will say is, first of all, the internet is big enough for everybody. You don't always have to get along with everyone, even in your own fields. And if you did, the place would be boring. I'm gonna be honest. But a lot of what I see with the ACA is what I personally experienced on a smaller scale with the iNetwork.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'll go into this privately if people want to, but I just want to give it one example. And God the Scummer brought it up in about the Twitter thread that came out. And one of the things that was said, it was portrayed as this person was the innocent victim that is now being thrown off Talk Heathen. But they stopped asking or demanding Talk Heathen name be changed because and they're friends with the ex-hosts because the ex-host gave them the show or whatever. We had a similar situation, right? Now, I have my own problems with the iNetwork since leaving. I'm not even going to go into it, but there was a show called The Uncalled For. A member left the iNetwork, believed they owned the show, and demanded through people who remained on the show that we change the name so that they could use it on their new channel. And we told the person, as well as the person left behind, to go and fuck themselves. So when it comes to I'm all innocent, I don't buy it. There's always at least two sides to every story. Now, am I happy that Matt Dillahunty is on the line? No. It's a conflict of interest. And also on ACA and the chairperson and the main host. No, conflict of interest. Completely agree. But is it all the ACA's fault? No. Does there have to be blame assigned? Absolutely fucking not. Shit happens. People have disagreements. We fall apart, we get back together, or we don't. Doesn't have to mean that everybody is in Camp A or everybody is in Camp B, and Camp A thinks Camp B is all wrong, and Camp B think Camp A is all wrong. People on all sides have fucked up in this in terms of their presentation of it. And again, I'm speaking from an outsider's perspective. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that's happened in the debunk community of how it's been presented to the outside world.
I'll just come back. So we said, and we won't mention their name, Crafty, okay? But we did a little thing, and we talked a little in a live chat earlier. That I mean, now, yeah, and I'll be honest. I personally, the way I feel right now, I don't want to be anywhere around the ACA. It's just how I feel right now.
Which is understandable.
I'm totally going to just interrupt in like 2 minutes again and give it back to Bearded. So finish up, Jeff and Crafty, about it. That's all we get, everybody.
Yeah. So maybe we can get on something more positive in a sec. But yeah, I mean, as you said in the chat there, you recognise some certain tactics. And I said, well, I didn't really see that myself. However, I had to confess and be honest with Crafty. I was one of the people that was taken in by some of that person's bullshit, so I may not necessarily be the best judge. And I know, Crafty, we exchanged a few private emails about some of the stuff that happened at the time, and I kind of opened up to you a little bit about that as well. But
totally took this down the wrong route.
I sometimes feel I'm not necessarily always the best judge.
Check your Twitter.
Here's the point.
Luke, check your Twitter.
And I'll finish on this.
Luke,
my
check your
point
Twitter.
is, my point is, it is very difficult for anyone from the outside who doesn't know the in-depth discussions, who weren't in the room when these discussions went down, when the disagreements happened. And I understand a bit of the history of what's gone on the last 2-3 years. But it's very difficult from an outsider's perspective when you haven't been in every room and every debate and every discussion to allay blame. If you don't know all sides to the story, then I would reserve judgment. That's all I'm trying to get at.
You don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Yes, bringing it back round, or a title.
Yeah. Well, like, I don't know if you noticed. No, Crafty didn't notice because Crafty doesn't do Twitter. Crafty, Bearded had a row with a person the other day because a black woman wrote a book titled "I Don't Talk to White People Anymore" or whatever it was.
I saw that. I saw the discussion. I heard the discussion earlier.
Yeah, madness. Absolute.
Little bit
madness. So Bearded, the floor is yours, man. The floor is yours.
Oh, well, I guess I think it's easy to get lost into arguments. It's easy to get lost into disagreements and stuff. I always try and view things with, I assume that people have good faith. I always assume that people think they're doing the right thing, even when it seems like they're doing shitty things. And that does tend to be the case. It's just that some people get things wrong. People get things quite wrong. So from my perspective, this whole a lot of these disagreements and stuff are usually misinterpretations of things. Some of them aren't. Some of them are genuinely, shit things that have happened. But I guess for me, if we go in, especially on Twitter, where you can't really get the context of like tone and stuff, and it's very short. If we go in assuming somebody's got best faith possible until they show otherwise, which usually is when they call you a name or something like that. I think that tends to work, and I think that I agree with you about not assigning blame to people. I think the only reason why I feel like the ACA is probably I'm probably holding it to a bit of a higher standard is because it's a non-profit and because it should be providing a service, and because I don't see that. And I totally get Cripple's perspective on like they're a local organization and stuff, but they're not anymore, really, are they?
No.
So
I'll
they should
weigh
be
on
doing
in this
more.
one. I'm sorry.
If you want, yeah, go for it.
I say because technically the ACA, is a local or supposedly a local organization in Texas, but they have a global reach.
Yeah.
And which I suppose is to their credit that they have such a far reach. That with shows like obviously the Atheist Experience, kind of becoming this. I mean, in a way, a bit of a phenomenon that's come, and the other shows and podcasts they've done with it. And I think we do have to recognise that they've probably been the starting point for a lot of people who have come out of religion.
Yeah.
I think we've got to recognise that. Therefore, I do this. This is something that I guess has kind of bothered me. And one of the reasons I stopped watching the Atheist Experience, and this is just a personal thing of mine, is I got a little tired of the way Matt was shouting down callers at times. That was just something that I don't know.
I don't think that's unusual. Like, that's not an unusual opinion.
And it didn't sit right with me. And I understand that, he's been doing that he's been on that show for what, 10, 12 years, whatever. 16 years. So wow, yeah. So you've probably heard every damn theist argument that there is going.
Then he should stop doing it and let someone with fresh legs do it.
100 times over.
Yeah. We can understand his frustration because, as you say, he's heard it a million times.
Yeah, and I can understand getting.
Let Bearded speak. Let Bearded speak there.
Okay.
That's just a sign that he needs. That there's people with fresh legs who haven't heard those arguments, who do understand the argumentation against it, but will be able to be more tolerant about it.
Yeah, I agree. But here's what I mean, and it is. This is what I felt frustrated me after watching it for a while is. That I felt, and I may be wrong about this, but I just felt it become more about getting the slam dunk on the fierce caller.
Yeah. You've just left religion. We said this earlier. Yeah. You just want to feel.
Yeah. And I mean, there's entertainment value in that, but when it goes too far in that direction of, hey, this is entertaining shit. Get the slam dunk on the fierce. Are we, is that show no longer fit for purpose, or is Matt no longer fit for purpose hosting that show when a lot of it has been about trying to, it's supposed to be about trying to have these conversations? Because, I mean, I fucking hate the fact that I'm even making this comparison right now, but I've said this before. If I want to see a show where callers get shouted over and muted and hung up on, I'll go and watch Nathan Oakley's Flat Earth debate. And I hate to make that fucking comparison. I really do.
Well, let's make a different
on that comparison. But hang on that comparison, right? On that comparison, sorry, Bearded.
That's all right.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. Crafty runs this channel. Do you know
I
that?
Do. Me and Dave are co-owners. Bye, MathPig. Right.
You do 95% of the work.
Here's my point, right? If you tune into Nathan Oakley, you know exactly what you're going to get with Nathan Oakley.
Yeah.
If you go onto his show, you expect to be shouted down and muted and insulted and all the rest of it, because that's what he does. If you go onto Atheist Experience and you do your homework and you watch any of the shows, then you expect Matt to cut through the bullshit. And you, if you don't allow him to cut through the bullshit, and if you continue to obfuscate and divert, then he's going to fucking shut you down. That's what you tune in for. If you want a cuddly, feely, happy time with theists, you go to Talk Heathen, or you go to one of their other shows. That's the fucking point. When you turn into Atheist Experience, you know exactly what you're going to get.
Can I push back on that, Crafty, a little bit? Yeah. Here's the thing. A lot of the time, the people who tune into the Atheist Experience do not know what they're getting into. That's the big difference to me. There's people, as I said, who are, having issues or whatever. The Atheist Experience can be like the first port of call for a lot of people who have questions and maybe questioning their faith or whatever. That's the big difference there.
I'll throw this back at you. I'll throw this back at you, right? Okay. Now, I'm not in favor of talent shows whatsoever, right? Not in favor of talent shows. Someone turns up for the X Factor, can't fucking sing a note. Is it the personally, I blame the producers, but is it the judges' fault for kicking them off the show and saying no? Or is it the people around them? Or is it themselves who haven't done the research? They go on these shows, they know what to expect, they know what's going to happen. And is it on the judges, who is the first time to hear these people, to say no? Or is it on the applicants?
Well, but then again, here's a difference. When we talk about something like Britain's Got Talent, X Factor, we're just talking about pure out bloody talent shows right here, okay? Yeah. I don't feel that applies here, and this is where I feel it doesn't really. It's not really the same thing. This is the whole.
I looked at my phone for 5 minutes, and we're now talking about the X Factor. So sort that shit.
Yeah.
So I guess my point.
The whole purpose.
Right, Jeff, main guest, guy, special guest. Go on ahead.
Of course.
I'm sorry.
I'll shut up for a bit.
I guess my point is, even though it's what is expected, does it make it okay? And I would say no. I don't think that that's the right approach. And I think that, especially when you see it kind of being done against like children, and that he has no boundaries apparently around that, despite his apology. I'm not sure if that was a genuine apology or if it was damage limitation. I think that it doesn't make it okay for me. So I'm not comfortable with it, even if it is what is expected. And I think that it shouldn't. I think we, especially someone who, the show's not just a YouTube channel. It's the representation of a non-profit that is supposed to be representing atheism in a positive way. And I don't think it does that. And I think that is an issue. And I think that it questions the ethics of the whole thing. And I think that's what Autumn's video did, was question the ethics of the ACA and the lack of transparency about how they use their funds.
Bring out knowledge as well that we didn't know. A lot of stuff that people generally didn't know.
Yeah, like the stuff around, them not paying their co-hosts or their hosts, and giving them an Uber Eats or whatever,
Even to the smallest point, generally, if anybody comes on and needs help with OBS or needs help with Discord, I'll build you a server in 15 minutes. I'll spend 2 hours with you and teach you how to do OBS and all the live streaming and stuff. And I even promised that to fucking Bearded before he even come on. It's probably why he came on. He felt guilty, but
yeah, I did.
But that's the point. You give what you can give back. They are a massive fucking huge organization, and they give people an Uber Eats for coming on their show.
Yeah, and I suppose that's part of the problem. When you see YouTube, they're a non-profit, they probably get tax breaks and everything else. But when you see, I just say this generally, and this is not to have a pop at anyone that has YouTube as their main source of income, but when YouTube or super chats or any of that is your main source of income, then your focus then becomes on how to safeguard that income.
Yeah, becomes a business.
This is a huge problem with a lot of the YouTubers at the moment, because a lot of the YouTubers, especially in whether it's the atheist community, whether it's the debunk community, a lot of the new YouTubers, their whole focus is on getting monetized. And when they get monetized, then they have to get members, and then they get this, and then they get that, and then they have to safeguard it. And they will do anything to keep that safeguarded, that income safeguarded. Thankfully, that will never happen with me because I work full time, and that's why I'm kind of like, I will never make YouTube my full time job. YouTube is fun for me. It's never going to be my full time job.
I don't think I've not been persuaded. Like, I don't have enough followers.
You're on about Crafty. You're on about Crafty. You're the next PewDiePie. You know?
Fuck that shit. No.
No,
Fuck no.
Most of us here do this, except for pee poo poo. Most of us here do it for the conversation. It doesn't matter how many people are watching. Although Crafty does like a wee bit of drama. She's a wee bit.
I do.
You fucking do.
Well, you know what? I'm such a strong personality that when shit happens, I can't not speak about it. Especially when I know that there are people at risk.
Somebody farted in the room, you couldn't help but point at them. You're just that sort of person.
when I've pointed at drama, it is because there are actually people. If I don't speak up, the problem is what happens to the next person that they do it to. So I always make sure that the line stops with me. I'm going to fucking call it out and expose it. But if that means that I'm fucked,
okay,
my
stop
reputation
fucking making yourself out as a drama queen. I'm trying to say everybody here isn't a drama queen. We do it.
I am though.
You know,
because drama
somebody
just
asked me earlier.
Me.
Somebody sent me a message earlier and asked me who Fabio was, and I said about, you know, Fabio's been around this years. He did this comment about I'm here 12 years, and it was like fuck this, that, and the other. I'll check them out, and I was like, good luck to you. He doesn't do fucking anything. He just appears in people's channels. You know, it's,
I'm a fucking sociopath. So fuck you guys.
I mean, I'd say I can't speak for everyone here, but I would suggest that I wouldn't be incorrect in saying most of us do this as a hobby. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting an echo in my ear for some reason. Sorry, but we do this as a hobby. And look, hey, if we do make a little bit of cash on the side for this, great, you know. But I want to have the conversations. I want to, you know, just do this because I enjoy it. And if I get monetized, great. If I don't, which I don't think I will at this point, you know, I've been plugging away at this for like 4 years and still have got to 400 subscribers yet. Hey,
well, how many more do you need? Is it still 23?
I'm 20 now.
Right, somebody put fucking Jeff's link in the chat, and I will speak for Jeff. Jeff's having a competition with 2 other people to get to his next milestone.
Can I join the competition?
Yeah. It is a friendly competition, I will say. It's very friendly.
I think I need 23 as well.
But
didn't you say on Dave's channel the other day that people should go to all of your channels and subscribe?
That's why I said I'm speaking for Jeff.
Yeah, I did say that because especially with one of the other people in particular that I actually
You're not doing this right. You're not doing this right. Ask Nerdy. Nerdy and me were in and around 390 at the same time when we both rushed to get 400, and I rubbed it in his face, or he rubbed it in my face. That's the way you do it, man. Get vengeful, you know. Get a Twitter war going. We've been discussing about the drama all night. You know,
drama gets views. I had the video about Autumn's video got me the most.
Bearded, right? I'll tell this story and then I'll pass the floor to Bearded because he has, you know, he's give us loads of time. He's give us an hour and a half. He said he would be able to give us an hour. So I'll say this and I'll move to you, man. 2 very smallish channels, 1,000 subscribers and stuff, not massive channels, whatever. And they're just banter channels. Is Lucy Luxor and God the Good One, right? And they are both from England as well, both British people. And God, the Good One, has a teddy bear that he sends to people in his live chat. He will post it out to them with the condition they post it on. He's called Dave the Bastard. And they come up with this
God is awesome.
Yeah, they come up with this idea that somebody would say that they posted it to Lucy, and Lucy would then threaten Dave the Bastard by being fed to her German Shepherd if she didn't get a God mask. And their views, everything went up. They even got death threats on fucking Twitter, man, over a teddy bear being ripped apart by a German Shepherd. She didn't even have the teddy bear. Didn't even have it. You know, it was drama, views, clicks. There's ways and means. So Bearded, floor's yours. Luke, floor's yours.
So what do you want me to close?
Well, you said you have to shoot soon, so I don't want
I do
you
have
to.
to shoot.
I don't want
Yeah,
you
I
to
do.
just go bye and run. So I'm gonna.
No, this has been really enjoyable. It's been nice seeing a different part of the community. I think I've been watching your stuff for a little bit, and it's nice to be a part of it, which is really good.
Glad to have you.
Yeah, and
Glad to
I
have
look
you before
forward to
Dave as
more-
well.
I look forward to more conversations because it seems like there's a lot of strong characters in this part of the world. And
Oh yeah,
a bit.
no, swear to
I
fuck,
like strong
man. If you don't speak up, you will not be heard. All right, you know. Look at these people on the panel. I can't even control half these fuckers.
It's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. You know, speaking up is an important part of life, isn't it? So.
But yeah, we're all cordial. We all shout at each other. I think
We all love each other, though.
Yeah, I was going to say that we all love each other, and I can probably guarantee, with the exception of Fabio and yourself, I've had fallen outs.
Speak for yourself. You can't.
Well, I'm going to say I've had fallen outs with everybody.
Dysfunctional family? Is that the best
No, but
description?
there's probably not a person here that I haven't fallen out with at one stage. And being able to fall out with someone.
Well done, Dave.
Oh dear.
Being able to fall out with
And
someone.
MathPig just fell out with Dave.
Being able to fall out with someone. And being able to, you know, go home and like that motherfucking ass. Oh, and then you wake up the next morning, you're like, they're just speaking their mind. Being able to have that, I don't know, maturity is rare to find.
It's rare on social media, certainly. Yeah, definitely.
You know, you're.
MathPig, sorry. Can I jump in? I do want to ask.
Yeah, think you're fucking smart now.
I do want to ask Bearded Heretic one thing before he goes.
All right.
Okay, as a Bearded Heretic, who has got the best facial hair in the community? And by the way, MathPig is not a valid answer.
Why the
So
fuck?
I wouldn't say me currently because my beard, I trimmed it down because of my sweaty neck.
You use a cutthroat razor and all now to get these perfectly defined lines. Fuck you, Jeff.
I watched one of Hereticals, and there was a guy
Oh,
called
Jay.
Oh, Chris.
Jay.
Angry Buddhist or something.
Jay, yeah.
Is that his name? He has an incredible beard. That is a beard to be jealous of.
Well, I haven't been asked, but I'm going to say J.L. Warren.
It's a nice beard.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm putting my money out there. Doorknob Head still wins. And if you haven't seen Richard Madsen, when it's not dyed ginger because he thinks that Jesus was a ginger, and it's beautifully grey, it's like down to here. It's quite a nice beard. Shout out to
I
Richard.
got rid of my facial hair like 2 years ago. You know, I had a beard for years, but
Jeff, you should grow the
You should get it
beard
back.
and then just randomly shave your entire head someday.
Yeah. Just
yeah.
Do a rationality rules.
Oh God, yeah, no.
No comment.
Right. On
That
that
would
note,
get
We've already got.
I
We've already.
apologise.
I'm not being funny. We've already got. You know, I mean, we've got one person from Hampshire who used to have long hair who's can be a bit of a dick. We don't need another.
I used to have long
Sorry.
hair down past my shoulders. It was
I-
I used to have
beautiful.
long hair as well.
Yeah,
I don't-
yeah.
I don't want to
Beforehand.
say too much, but I know Rationality Rules is like about 5 miles away from where I live. So
Really?
yeah, he's in my
Not
part of the world.
I nearly said his name. Europa Bumhole says I tried a falling out with Fabio, but it turned out he never liked me since we met. So
No. Fuck you.
It
I mean,
happens.
listen. I'm starting from the assumption that everybody is an idiot.
yeah,
You know,
That'd be a joke like me.
well, listen. I'm sorry. I've never met you, but this is my
literally
first
just met
assumption.
me.
Right? Yeah, right. I mean, I think you're an idiot. I mean, you might be okay, but
he
you're
likes
still an idiot,
Steve.
but-
He likes Steve. He's an
No,
idiot.
No, hold on a second, because there is an important step where you got to step up, and then the step up is that you have to think of yourself as being an idiot.
Mm.
This is where you reach Zen, and you can have a proper conversation with people.
Avoid
Knowing
I-
that you
I
know
re-
nothing, being aware of the fact that you know nothing.
Being
I'll
in the
just say this.
Dunning-Kruger Valley. That's what you want to be.
Yes.
I'll just say that I reached Zen a long time ago. Then
That's self-loathing. That's a totally different thing, Jeff.
Yeah.
Right, what we'll do is shout out to Bearded Heretic. If anyone is awake and one of the mods, pretty much fucking everybody's a bloody mod except Bearded Heretic. Right, we're going to change that. There you go. Make you a mod next. You've been on the channel. Everybody's a mod. Bearded Heretic's link is in the description. Give the man a sub. As he said, he only needs 23 subs to hit the next big milestone. Please, there's 16 of us watching, 17 of us watching now. There was 23 earlier. If everybody just goes over and fucking subscribe to the man, and then, you know, you don't even have to watch his shit. Just subscribe, you know. That's all.
Well, here's a question. Here's a question for Bearded Heretic. Where do you want to take your channel next?
I think I want to just. I think there's a niche that hasn't been filled yet about kind of like the more mundane grassroots stuff around what it's like to live as an atheist, and I think that's the kind of stuff I want to access and tap into. Just build a space for that so people can listen to it and hopefully have a better experience.
There is a very good niche in definition of atheism, I thought.
No,
please, no.
You can go there.
Fabio's internet broke. Fabio's internet broke. He was in the garden.
Thank fuck.
Right, on that note, not talking about money and all that sort of shit, but thank you to all the people who put money into the channel. Thank you for all the people who do genuinely contribute. You all help out massively, and it's not just me, it's other people in the community. You know that yourself. I'm a non-profit, but I think I need to be more transparent about where all my money goes. There's a trend going on now, you know.
Yeah, where's the accounts?
Where's the accounts?
Where's the accounts?
There is no community. Stop saying that.
I did, Dave, hit fucking refresh. His link is in the chat. Go fuck yourself. The description reads, tonight at the last minute we have grabbed Bearded, haha, let's see how it goes, and his link. That's all that's in the description.
How has it gone?
I thought it went well.
And we have Antangelo in the chat.
Oh, I told you if we hung around long enough. Oh, sorry, Antangelo has a wrench. Antangelo, that was just to protect you the other night. I'm taking it away again. Sorry, I'm taking it away again. That was just to protect you. Yeah, now all the atheists love me. Right, on that note, we're going to say goodbye. We're going to say thank you to everybody. If you are a Patreon or a member, if the people on the panel want to continue the crack, we will continue to stream on the members and Patreons channel, but we are going to lose Luke. Oh, fuck off. Is it still the other guy if I click it? Is it not Bearded Heretic? It is still the Blessed Bible Club. Oh, fuck me. Right. Don't click Bruce's link. Somebody please put fucking Bearded Luke's link in the fucking...
Hang on, I have it here.
There you go.
Thank you.
Copy. There we go. We're all going to paste
Although, also follow the other guy, because...
Yeah, he'll be here next week, you know?
Share the love.
Share the love to everybody. So, yes, everybody, remember, please... think for yourselves, and if you're a member or Patreon, keep an eye out for the notification. So everybody, thank you very much, and we will see you again. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.